recap of what we saw earlier. We started with what is foreign exchange, what is foreign exchange rate, what is a foreign exchange market, what are the functions of foreign exchange market, what are the features of foreign exchange market, and then we spoke about different exchange rate regimes. We spoke about fixed exchange rates regime, and then we spoke how it operates and how it keeps the exchange rate under control. And then we spoke about flexible exchange rate system, wherein what are the factors that determine the exchange rate and what are the parameters that are going to be favorable, unfavorable for an exchange to move. Then we spoke how to interpret a currency reading in terms of another, how to read foreign exchange quotes. And then we also spoke about what are the, we spoke about what if a currency depreciates, what are its, what benefits will it give and what are its pros and cons rather. And then we spoke about if it's going to be a currency which appreciates, what are the pros and cons of that. Now, after that, we talk about pegging. What is pegging? And how do you spell pegging? I'll share my screen here. So when I peg a currency, I means I link my currency to a stronger currency. Why should I actually peg, or when do I peg? When I feel a currency is going to be not having monetary stability in the foreign market. Like for example, it's an emerging economy. I have a huge developmental expenditure which will create a lot of imports. It is my thing. And so what I do is I will peg it to a stronger currency like Euro or US dollar. China had pegged its currency to US dollar so that it could have monetary stability for some time, right? So now whenever pegging means when you link it to a stronger currency, I say $1 equal to 15 Chinese yuans. So any trade transactions can take place in dollars and then you convert the dollars to Chinese yuans. That is how it works actually. So it means pegging or linking. Directly, you don't allow it to float in the market. You are linking it to a stronger currency and determining the exchange rate in terms of stronger currency. Directly आप market में नहीं डालते हो. Any import-export transaction will be done through dollars. Now, when I talk about crawling peg, it's also kind of fixed exchange rate system. Remember, we had the Bretton Woods system, $1. We had pegged all other currencies to dollars, US dollar, and trade was taking place in dollar. Still, some of the countries can do that so that they can have a stable monetary movement in the foreign market. And what will happen is when you talk about crawling peg जो वो है, see when the exchange rate in terms of the other currency moves slowly, right? Like for example, appreciation of dollar and in terms of Chinese yuan in terms of dollar happens very slowly. It's a fixed exchange rate system. Gradually, factors like inflation, etc., will move yuan in terms of dollar and dollars in terms of yuan, but relatively it is fixed. That is called as crawling peg. When I say target zone agreement means it's also one kind of fixed exchange rate system. Where I say $1 equal to 20 yuan. I will allow it to move up or down only by 20%. So I said when the target zone is reached, monetary authorities of the respective countries will intervene, especially China will intervene and bring it down. Agar in terms of dollar, Chinese currency has depreciated by 20%. They say 20% or 10% or whatever target I fix, I depreciated by that. Chinese authorities will intervene, remove dollar out of circulation, create a demand for yuan. This happens only within themselves. It doesn't come out. Are you following? Because we are linking the currency to some other currency, stronger currency. This gives us monetary stability. Because by default, my currency does not have any monetary stability. That is why I've linked it to a stronger currency. To be more clear, if it is going to be a floating exchange rate system, what we have in India, Indian currency आपको quotation मिल रहा है. If you go to any market, you click यूरो में INR कितना है, INR में यूरो कितना है. You go to Dubai, you get INR codes. Same way, if it is a pegged currency, you will not get its code. You will have to convert it to the currency to which it is pegged, and then only you will get the quotation. Are you following? I will not, supposing I'm pegging some XYZ countries currency to US dollar. तो हमेशा मुझे अभी वापस XYZ कंट्री का करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करना है, तो क्या करूंगी? I will convert, supposing यूरो को XYZ कंट्री के करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करना है, तो यूरो को मैं डॉलर में पहले कन्वर्ट करूंगी, फिर वो डॉलर को XYZ कंट्री के करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करूंगी. अभी रुपी को कन्वर्ट करना है XYZ कंट्री करेंसी, तो क्या करूंगी? रुपी को डॉलर में कन्वर्ट करूंगी, तो डॉलर को वो कंट्री के करेंसी में कन्वर्ट करूंगी, विच मीन्स डायरेक्टली आपको मार्केट में रेट नहीं मिल रहा है. मार्केट रेट will, I mean, you will get rate only in terms of this dollar. Are you following? That is what is meant by pegging. When I say a clean float, it means floating exchange rate systems generally follow this managed float or managed float and dirty float. मतलब clean float and dirty float. Managed float is also known as clean float. मतलब when you are floating it in the market, you are floating the currency as it is. Like Indian currency, supposing when it is floating, what happens? It is going to be floating against all other currencies. Rate आपको जैसे trade transactions हो रहा है, appreciation, depreciations हो रहा है, वैसे ही आपको movement होगा currency में, right? If it is good, that is called as a dirty float. If it is going to be a managed float, the moment it moves a little in one direction, appreciation 20% या 10% का हुआ, obviously my countries, the RBI will intervene, and then it will say that it will purchase some currency or it will create a supply and push it down. This is called as managed float. It is managing the amount of floating that it is having. एक direction में up या downward का movement हुआ, the central banking authority is going to intervene, and then it is going to create a demand or supply depending upon what it wants, and then it is going to bring it back to whatever it was. Are you following? ऊपर गया तो नीचे लाएगा, नीचे गया तो ऊपर लाएगा. That is how it is. Are you following? नीचे गया तो demand create करेगा, because it will say I will sell dollars by rupee, and then accordingly it will manage the flow. If it is going to be ऊपर गया, then it is going to sell rupee, creating a supply, and then it will bring it down. Are you following? That is how clean float and dirty float operate. Exchange market. Players in foreign exchange market are commercial banks first. Who are they? What do they do? What is their role? Commercial banks have many clients who are going to buy and sell in bulk. Every transaction is going to be exchanged through banks, right? So they are going to be, again, they have clients under them. They do it for themselves, etc. Any trade transaction, any dealing transaction are all going to be based on
मैम आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
market. Foreign exchange market में commercial banks transact on behalf of their clients, and they transact for them also, right? They are going to be buying, selling foreign exchange. अगर आपके clients trader है, customers आपके trader है, banking customers are going to be trading up and down, and then they are going to be playing on behalf of their clients, right? उसके अलावा नॉन फाइनेंशियल कॉर्पोरेशंस लाइक योर वेस्टर्न यूनियन मनी ट्रांसफर, these are Thomas Cook, all these are authorized dealers of foreign exchange market. They are going to be transacting up in foreign exchange market on behalf of all these clients. इनको RBI license करती है कि you can transact in foreign exchange. So they are also going to be dealing. Apart from that, central banking authority. Central banking authority is the regulating authority, and it is also going to be responsible for printing domestic currency, managing the money supply, etc. Now it is also looking up after the free floating. We have free float system. We don't have managed float system, right? अगर बहुत ही depreciate हुआ तो ही question है, and it doesn't generally happen, right? So central banking authority is also involved as a regulator, as a manager. Foreign exchange management authority hai wo. So they are also involved here. Are you following? So these are the major players in foreign exchange, in the foreign exchange market. Now talking about foreign exchange market in India. India we have something called as Foreign Exchange Dealers Association, right? ये ट्रेडिंग आपको रेगुलेट करता है, एंड देन ये सेल्फ रेगुलेटरी एसोसिएशन है, और इन्होंने क्लियरिंग कॉर्पोरेशन जो है उनका भी फंक्शन के ऊपर ध्यान देता है. क्लियरिंग कॉर्पोरेशन मतलब किसको पैसे पहुंचाना है, राइट? आई मेक द पेमेंट इलेक्ट्रॉनिकली, सब कर लेते हैं, फिर भी somebody has to there to look after this, and there is an enormous amount of transactions that take place. So who has to receive the money, etc. Right? FEDI is the self-regulatory mechanism. It's an association of dealers, and then since 2001 they also look after the functions of the Clearing Corporation of India Limited. तो हर जगह में क्लियरिंग होता है. इफ यू टेक स्टॉक मार्केट, वहां पे भी क्लियरिंग है. NSCCL, नेशनल सिक्योरिटीज क्लियरिंग कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड. यहाँ पे CCIL, क्लियरिंग कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड. At an overseas level also they have their own clearing corporations, right? Now when you talk about LERMS, what is LERMS? Liberalized Exchange Rate Management System. अभी कैसा है कि मार्केट फोर्सेस के ऊपर आपको लर्म्स है. मतलब पहले कैसा था, यूनिफाइड एक्सचेंज रेट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम था. पहले जब ट्रेडर्स ट्रेडिंग करते थे तो उन्होंने बोला, सी 60% ऑफ ऑल योर फॉरेन एक्सचेंज अर्निंग्स विल बी डन एट मार्केट रेट, 40% एट RBI डिटरमाइंड रेट्स. मतलब अगर आपने डॉलर में कमाया है तो आपको जो अगर 1 लाख कमाया है, 60,000 विल बी एट मार्केट रेट. बाकी 40,000 RBI जो देता है आपको वो लेना पड़ेगा. बट वो हटा के आपको 1993 में लर्म्स आया था, लिबरलाइज्ड एक्सचेंज रेट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, सॉरी 1991 में, where they said we will have a conversion of all the currencies at market determined rate. Are you following? Any doubts here? Now foreign exchange जो है अभी कैसे इंडिया में है structure of foreign exchange thing is, we have the regulator on top as usual. RBI is the regulator. Then we have the next layer as giant banks, right? It has in 3 tiers. Giant banks, बड़े कंपनीज लाइक IDBI, ICICI, ये बड़े बड़े डीलर्स है बहुत. इनके वजह से मार्केट डिटरमाइन होता है. मतलब इनके एक खरीदी से भाव के ऊपर फर्क पड़ सकता है. दे आर कॉल्ड एज मार्केट मेकर्स. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? दैट इज द सेकेंड लेयर वेयर ह्यूज जायंट बैंक्स दे आर गोइंग टू बी ट्रांसैक्टिंग. उनका 1-2 ट्रांसैक्शन की वजह से पूरे मार्केट में आपको फर्क आ सकता है रेट में. Where dollar was trading 78 rupees, now if this giant bank performs 2 transactions in buying dollars, it is going to make a big difference in the rate of exchange between dollar and rupee, right? Are you following? So that is the second layer. Third layer talks about all retailers and smaller banks. Smaller banks जब transact करते हैं, they are all market takers. जो भाव market में आता है वो अपने क्लाइंट के लिए वो खरीदते हैं या अपने लिए प्रॉफिट लॉस के हिसाब से खरीदते हैं. देन वी हैव ऑल दीज ऑथराइज्ड डीलर्स, रिटेलर्स कौन कौन है? हम लोग जब भी हम फॉरेन टूर जाना चाहते हैं, हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा $10,000 तक कन्वर्ट करेंगे. ज़्यादा, आई मीन आवर अफोर्डेबिलिटी इज ओनली सो मच दैट मैक्सिमम $10,000, दैट इटसेल्फ इज अ बिग मनी फॉर अस, राइट? तो उतना कन्वर्ट करके दे जाएंगे. वी आर ऑल कॉल्ड रिटेलर्स. वी डू इट थ्रू ऑथराइज्ड डीलर्स. ऑथराइज्ड डीलर्स आर licensed institutions, which may be banks or even non-banking companies, which convert our money, like your Western Union money transfer, and then you have all these Thomas Cook, and for those tour operators also converted for you. They are all authorized dealers licensed by RBI to convert currencies. Are you following? Are you following, all of you? Now, when I talk about the theory of purchasing power parity, this theory was given by Gustav Cassel, right? And in the end, I will give you, see, in the end of foreign exchange, I will give you what actually you should be. Purchasing power parity theory was given by Professor Gustav Cassel, right? I will share my whiteboard here. I will explain the theory to you. $100 in India, and the same basket goods $1 in C. See, Professor Gustav Cassel, who was a Swedish economist, propounded this theory of purchasing power parity. He said foreign exchange can be established between two countries. Exchange rate can be established in this way. A basket of goods is costing rupees 100 in India. Basket of goods may, if the basket could contain, say, basket contains 1 kg of veggies, 1 kg fruits, 1 liter fuel, and then 1 yard of say fabric, right? So it costs 1 kg. It has 1 kg of vegetables, 1 kg of fruits, 1 liter of fuel, and then 1 yard of fabric. All these are going to cost you $1 in US, and the same thing costs $1 in India, rupees 100 in India, $1 in US. Then we can establish the exchange rates as $1 equal to rupees 100. Are you following? इन्होंने क्या कहा, अगर यूएस में एक बास्केट ऑफ गुड्स, एक बास्केट में ये सारी चीजें रखे और उनके भाव है $1 अमेरिका में, और यही बास्केट अगर आप इंडिया में जाओ तो आपको 100 रुपए में मिल रहा है, then I will establish the exchange rates as $1 equal to rupees 100. Are you following? All of you, this is what is called as purchasing power parity. उन्होंने थोड़े बहुत assumptions किए ये theory में. उन्होंने बोला assumptions of the theory. Theory are, number 1, no transportation cost. उन्होंने बोला no बीच में जहाँ पे यहाँ से वहाँ लेके जाना है तो उसका transportation cost free है, no transportation cost. Secondly, he said there is exchange rate is going to be established I'll start another meeting now. Establish this way, right? Again, महंगाई हर जगह का उन्होंने नहीं लिया था, right? Inflation was ignored. तो इनके जो नतीजे हुए, I will tell you later. Why, if these are ignored, what happens? I'll continue in the next meeting. I'll call for another meeting now. Please join.